The series starts off with the camera focusing on someone wearing a hoodie walking in the rain. Why is he walking? Where's he going? This video has all the answers. All you need to do is subscribe to this channel and like the video. Welcome back to Lion Recaps. Today, I will explain episodes 1 to 4 of the series Love 101, released in 2020. The said person walks past a fisherman, then climbs over a wall into a compound that has a "Do Not Enter" sign at the gate. A dog starts barking in the background. The person pats the dog and releases it from its chain. The person stares at the front of the house, which has a danger sign on it, but goes inside anyway. The person removes her hoodie and is revealed to be a woman. She starts removing the covering cloth from the furniture. The time frame shows 1998. The camera focuses on a dude who's on his way to school, amongst other students. He walks into the school and meets a group of students who appear to be doing assignments in bulk. They go distribute the assignments, and the students on the receiving end pay money for them. The dude makes a lot of money from selling all the assignments by the end of the day. Then he meets someone outside the school. The man tells him to meet one of the students from earlier, who informs him that someone named Shithead has found out about their little business. The boy walks into the school immediately in search of Shithead. Students leave the hallway where he and Shithead, who happens to be the school principal, meet. The boy's name is Osman. They both trade words about the homework selling incident, with Osman telling him that it really isn't that big of a deal. The principal gets angry and tells him to fuck off. Up next is a basketball game at the school between two teams, one in white uniforms and one in blue uniforms. Osman's team, the one in white uniforms, is much better, and they dominate the blue team with a boy named Sinan scoring all the points. Sinan is doing a layup shot, and then he's pushed by an opposing player, but the referee asks to continue the game. Sinan asks the referee whether he did not see that he was pushed, but the referee said it wasn't a foul, and the game continues. Sinan runs up to the referee and beats the referee up badly, with people trying to restrain him. As a result, the principal kicks him off the team. Sinan is clearly not happy about this, as he pushes the trophy cabinet to the ground on his way home. As the principal is leaving, he overhears a teacher making love to a female student in an empty classroom. He walks in on them and asks Mr. Tarek, the teacher, to pack his things and leave the school. Mr. Tarek is mocked by teachers on his way out of the school. The principal now tells the students that there will be a debate competition between their school's debate team and the debate team of another school, which has also brought their students to watch the competition. Osman gathers the rival school's students and convinces them to place a bet on the competition. Sinan is part of the team, but he hasn't showed up. The supervisor asks another boy named Yafuz to go look for him, and Yafuz is knocked out with a speaker after refusing to show someone where to drop it. The debate ends in a watery fight with Ida, the girl involved with Mr. Tarek, Sinan, and Osman all involved and starting it. Osman's school ends up getting banned from the debate competition forever. All 4 students, Ida, Sinan, Osman, and Kerem, the one who broke the amp, were summoned by disciplinary panel and narrowly avoided expulsion by Ms. Dista's vote. Ms. Distas is ready to be transferred now, and the principal decides to expel the students, even though he promised Ms. Distas that he won't. All 4 students decide to work together to avoid expulsion. They decide to make Ms. Distas fall in love in order to make her stay in Istanbul, and they have to meet Isaac, the student representative, to help them out. They look through teachers, but none of them meet their criteria. Eventually, they decide on the new basketball coach who just joined the school, and they start their operation. The woman in the start of the episode finishes her letter and sends 4 copies to 4 other people, the 4 students. She asks them to come to the house where she entered before it's too late and says it's an invitation. Episode 2. The episode starts off with all 4 students along with Isaac heading to Sinan's house. The students ask Isaac for her plans to make Ms. Distas and the new basketball coach fall in love. Isaac thinks a candlelight dinner would be perfect, but the others see it as boring. They decide the best way would be to get them to have sex at a rock concert. Osman gets tickets to the coach's favorite rock band, and they have to find a way to convince both teachers to go to the concert. Ida goes to talk to a boy during recess, and Kerem beats him up when he kisses her, causing a huge scene. Ida subsequently convinces Ms. Distas to come to the concert to keep everyone safe. The gang convinces the coach to buy tickets to the same concert while trying to avoid Isaac's fake teacher meeting. After school, they all hang around and watch both teachers leave the school. Isaac spots some birds, and after telling everyone that lovers attract birds, Sinan recites something like a poem, making Isaac compliment him. Osman arrives, and they all leave the school. Isaac tells the gang that she wouldn't be able to make the concert because her mom says bad things happen there. Sinan tells her that it's best she thinks for herself instead of always believing everything her parents tell her. Osman tells Isaac that they'll convince her mom to let her go there. In Isaac's house, everyone gets seated as Isaac and her mother, Aryan, serve them snacks. They're all dressed responsibly except Sinan, who didn't change at all. When asked if they'd like anything to drink, Osman asks for chocolate milk. Ida tells Aryan that it's just a youth-friendly movie with the teachers chaperoning the event. She pleads that her mother would only allow her to go if Isaac attends the movie. Aryan first wants to tell her husband about it, but then gives Isaac her permission. She then starts talking about how parents always know the best for their children and how they love them so much. This hurts Sinan, who goes outside for some air. Sinan is at the pier with his dog, crying while thinking about what Aryan said. He eventually falls into the water in an attempt to drown himself, while his dog barks for him to come back. At the concert, Isaac and Ida are about to get checked at the gate for their tickets. They turn around and see Karam and Osman further down the line, but there's still no sign of Sinan. They show their tickets at the gate and enter the concert. Osman and Karam are moving forward, but Osman stops to sell 2 tickets quickly. In the concert, the gang looks for ways to get Mr. Altuz and Ms. Distas to stay together. After they find a way, everyone goes off to party, leaving Isaac standing alone in the middle of weird-looking people. Sinan comes through and finds a way to lock Coach Altuz and Ms. Distas in the bathroom, but that still doesn't get them to do anything intimate. Frustrated, the students leave, despite the fact that Isaac has Ms. Distas' purse. The students stop a bus and they all get in. Osman pays with a pass he already has. Karam sits down beside Ida and realizes he's starting to like her. Ida tells them all to head to her place since she is Ms. Distas' neighbor, and she'd see if Mr. Altuz actually drove her home. They all agree. Ms. Distas is worried about the kids on her way to Mr. Altuz's car, and she gets splashed by a water sprinkler before he can open the door. Inside, she tells him she doesn't regret anything that happened that day. At Ida's house, the gang heads to her room after Sinan tells her that her parents probably want her to find a husband in college. They all sit down, waiting for Mr. Altuz's car. After waiting a while, Isaac says that it's late and she should go home, and Osman and Sinan go home too. Karam makes up an excuse to stay with Ida, and they all leave. Mr. Altuz pulls up, and Ida can see them now. She and Karam watch as they head inside, and as Miss Distas closes the blinds, she hugs Karam in happiness. Both of them stare into each other's eyes as the episode ends. Episode 3. The episode starts off with a scene from the previous one, where Coach Altuz drops Ms. Distas off at her house. They get in, and he decides to prepare tea for her since she's shivering. Ida and Karam are watching, and they talk about love not being about sex. They end up kissing, and she bites his lip and tells him to leave. Karam's feelings get hurt, and he leaves. Osman, Sinan, and Isaac are walking home when Osman says he's hungry. Sinan decides to walk Isaac home while Osman stops to buy some food. Sinan and Isaac get into an argument, and she gives him her scarf before she leaves. Karam gets home and meets his father and his friends. His father tells him how disappointed he is in him, but Karam is too hurt to retaliate. He tells the man goodnight. Back at Ms. Distas' house, the duo talk for a bit, and Mr. Altuz tucks her in bed. The next morning, she breaks a glass while listening to him talk and cuts her finger in the process. He tries to help her clean it, but she shouts at him and he leaves. The next morning, Sinan's dad shows up at his house and takes the china set with him, including the cup Sinan was using to have breakfast. He can't carry the china plates, so he says he would come back later. At school, the gang waits for both teachers to show up, and they come separately while avoiding each other. Ida tells everyone that it's obvious that they didn't have sex the previous night. They all get in class, and Isaac tells them to wait after school to get their pictures taken for the yearbook. Sinan tries to say something, but Osman tells him to just say yes and not be all philosophical about it. Osman asks Karam about his bloody lip, and he says it was caused by a cat while looking at Ida. The teacher walks in the class and says it's time for an exam. Isaac asks Sinan whether he studied, and Sinan says no. When Isaac asks him what he'll do, he says he'll simply turn the exam sheet in blank. When Isaac finishes her exam, she writes Sinan's name on it and swaps it with her own sheet. She then goes and submits the blank sheet and apologizes for not studying. They're all having lunch together in the school garden, and Kerem says all hope is lost on the teacher's issue. Ida says that Ms. Distas deserves a second chance at it, and Kerem says a few things while looking at her. Osman asks whether something is going on between them, and Isaac says they should go and see a movie together. Just then, Sinan walks up and shouts at Isaac badly for swapping the exam sheets. He tells her that he doesn't need her pity, neither should she do favors for him. Everyone else gets angry, and they call off the operation and head their separate ways. The woman from the first episode, who turns out to be Isaac, says that Sinan was just scared of falling in love. Ida goes to her room and starts drawing while crying. Kerem goes to a street alley and fights with 3 different guys at once and gets beat up badly in the process, even though he won. Sinan goes to his house and throws the china plates into the sea, then cries. Episode 4. Sinan is back to being his old lonely self again since the gang stopped talking to each other. He gets to school and sits in the seat he and Isaac used to share, but she's somewhere else with her friends. Ms. Distas has a dream of Coach Altuz and is annoyed when she wakes up. She gets prepared and goes to school. Coach Altuz meets Ms. Distas' teacher friend who asked him out on a date last time, and he lies that he's been distracted when she asked why they haven't been talking. Ms. Distas walks in and talks to a few teachers, but avoids Coach Altuz before leaving. Ida calls Isaac after school and asks her to come with her. They go to a pier, and Ida gets some beer even though Isaac doesn't drink. She tells Isaac that she knows she likes Sinan, and they talk about their lives and the future. Sinan goes to apologize to Osman and suggests a new plan in which he talks to Mr. Altuz, while Osman convinces the girls to join back with the group. They agree, and Sinan goes to meet Mr. Altuz. After talking for a bit, Sinan leaves and goes to tell Osman that Mr. Altuz is an emotional person and that he's capable of falling in love with someone. The girls arrive, and Sinan apologizes to Isaac for what he did to her the last time. The electrician is fixing something with Mr. Altuz watching him when Ms. Distas walks into the room. The electrician leaves both of them to talk, and when Mr. Altuz tries to ask Ms. Distas how she's doing, she leaves him alone. The kids follow Ms. Distas as she's leaving, only to see someone come, pick her up, and kiss her. They're devastated to see that she has a boyfriend, and they decide to try and break them up. Isaac isn't a fan of this, and says they shouldn't interfere with someone's love life. Sinan says he would prove how much of an asshole Ms. Distas' boyfriend is, and Isaac says she'll agree if he does that. Sinan manages to do just that, and they all agree to try and break them up. The next day, Isaac comes to greet the gang, but they can't find Sinan anywhere. Kerem says that Ms. Distas got the day off, and they don't know why. At Ms. Distas' house, everyone is getting prepared, as she's supposed to get engaged to her boyfriend that day. The engagement starts and is successful, and she's obviously sad while everyone is happy for her. Sinan tries registering himself in the ER of a hospital, but the nurse says his parents have to sign some documents for him. He gets up and leaves the hospital and faints outside. That was all from the video. I hope you liked it. Subscribe for more content like this and hit the like button to help us out. Also, leave a comment if you want us to recap your favorite movie. Until next time, take care.